Hello, Michael Leanna here again with another writing idea from We Think with Ink. I'm outdoors today. It's a beautiful, sunny, summery day. Hope it's not too noisy. Some of the neighbors are out and there are some trucks in the distance. There's some wind blowing. So we'll see how this goes today. But I have a game today called Backwards Path. And this is a fun one. I think they're all fun, but this is especially fun for me. I love this game. You will have two teams, or perhaps two players. The first team thinks of a word and then challenges the other team to guess it. And this is involving spelling words backwards. So my example would be, team number one might say, we are thinking of a word that has 6 letters and the last letter is L. It'd be very hard for anybody to guess that word right away, but they may try. They could say school, 6 letters, ends with L. That's not the right answer though. So then you proceed. You go to the next one and you tell them the second to last letter and the last letter. In this example, this is a 6-letter word that ends with I-L. I-L. There are some possibilities here and you might be able to guess it right now, but let's just pretend that team number 2 guesses I-L, detail. Nope, that's not it. So then team number 1 gives another letter, the third to last letter in the word. 6-letter word that ends with C-I-L. And now the second team possibly could guess that the word is pencil. Spelling it backwards, 1 letter at a time. That's the key to this game called Backwards Path. It gets fun when you start to choose really long words. It gets really challenging then, but it's not as hard as you might think. We know a lot of long words. So if you started to spell the word basketball backwards, the last letter would be L. There are lots of words that end with L, but then the next clue would be LL, and there are lots of possibilities there too. Of course, part of the rule can be that you tell them how many letters are in the word, and basketball would have 10 letters. So you might just want to say for something like this, it's a long word that ends with LL. And then you to give them the next clue, it ends with ALL, and then BALL. And now it's getting easier. They can guess baseball perhaps, or basketball, or some other sport name that they know. So the real long words sometimes aren't that hard. Even great big long words. Well, I won't do a great big long word, but something like disagreement. When those last letters are written down and you start to understand what's going on at the end of the word, sometimes you can guess the longer word from that, and it really works. To play this game, your team, or if you're playing with 2 individuals, you can play it like that too, but the person being challenged, or the team being challenged, is allowed 1 guess. No fair getting a clue like this is a word with 6 letters, the last letter is L, and you guess many different words. Just 1. You can make it competitive in this way. You could take a point away from a team that guesses incorrectly. I'd rather not start doing that, but maybe you might want to advance to that as your teams get better and better at this. Let people have free guesses at first, perhaps, to get the hang of the game, and not be punished for making a guess, especially if they have a guess that's actually a good one, like the word school is a 6-letter word that ends with L. That's a good guess. It's a word and it fits the description, it just wasn't the right one. So you could advance to where you're taking points away for incorrect guesses, and if you do that, then you've got to be a little more careful not to make wild guesses. For instance, if I have a word and I tell you that it's 5 letters in this word and the last letter is R, there are just way too many of those. So it'd be foolish to make a wild guess because you'll lose a point if you're playing it like that. I would just kind of not make a guess there and wait for the next letter. And the next letter might be E-R. So you have a 5-letter word that ends with E-R. Again, there are too many. I wouldn't guess. You don't want to risk taking that point away. So just wait for the next letter. And when they give you the next letter and you learn that it's a 5-letter word that ends with P-E-R, now you might want to make a guess. Super. That's not it. So you get a point taken away for that if you're playing that method. And you wait for the next clue. Now you're told that it's a 5-letter word and it ends with A-P-E-R. And there are a few that would work. This answer is paper. And if you guess paper, then you would get the points. The way we score this, a good way to do it is how many letters are in the word. 5? 5 points. Take away, if you choose to take away points for incorrect guesses, then take away a point. If there's more than one incorrect guess, take away more points then. But if it's a longer word, let's say it's a 6-letter word like pencil, if they got that after 3 clues, then you might want to give them the 6 points altogether, or perhaps take away some points for incorrect guesses or whatever. You don't have to do that. I don't like to make things too competitive here. Longer words, trickier, but can be done. Words like ridiculous. A lot of these long words have the same kinds of endings. Disagreement. Lots of words end with M-E-N-T. So when you get those letters at the end, the guesses might start to come to you, but be a little careful because you don't want to make too many incorrect guesses too. So wait a little bit. Sometimes you have to wait and see, and things will clear. At first they seem kind of confusing. A word that ends with R, it's real hard to guess what that might be. But the more ending letters you have, the easier it becomes. And it's almost like the fog starts to clear and you say, oh, I know what that word is now. And you guess it and you get it. So here again, this game can be played with a large group, small groups, small teams, individuals. It can be played in the classroom. It can be played at home. Just about all these games that we are talking about here work that way. You can adapt them, you can change them, you can fix them so to fit the group that you're with, make them simpler, make them a little harder. That's what's fun about them too. Okay, thank you.